What is happening, and welcome to another four-wheel drive talk episode 48. And friends, this week's episode is all about what vehicles we might see in the near future, months and actually kind of years. Now, rumors are flying that GMC is thinking about a smaller EV. Now, the question is, do people want a smaller Hummer? Now, also, Jeep and Ram also have potential new vehicles on the horizon, another Jeep EV and possibly one or two Ram EVs as well. Now, renderings of these vehicles were recently done for the upcoming SEMA show in Vegas. I have to say, all of these look pretty badass. The near future will definitely see the Ineos Grenadier finally coming off the assembly line. Now, this retro-looking off-roader might not have a ton of power underneath the hood, but we know that's not most important. But it sure looks absolutely incredible. Now, we're going to chat about all of this here in a moment. But first, guys, look, every single week, you know the routine. We put these small little bite-sized little newsreels together to keep you informed as far as what the most interesting news is happening from that week. Now, of course, if you find some value with this video, friend, crushing that like button really does mean a lot to us, and let's be real here, it helps with the whole YouTube algorithm. That said, my friends, appreciate your support up front, and let's get on to this week's headlines. Now, the GMC Hummer EV has proven to be a major hit. Let's be real here. This thing has over 90,000 reservations for the giant truck that has already been made. Now, that level of popularity apparently has GMC thinking about expanding the Hummer lineup. Now, rumor has it that a smaller, mid-size Hummer could be in the works. I really should. Now, when you think about it, the current Hummer, this is a big truck here. This thing weighs 9,200 pounds. Yeah, 9,200 pounds. And so a midsize could mean a lot of different things. Now, what I think is for certain that we're not going to be looking at small, like something like a very compact GMC Canyon. Honestly, guys, I'm having a tough time picturing a baby Hummer. I mean, think about it. Part of the allure of the current Hummer is this thing is a big, boxy appearance and crazy off-road capabilities. So I'm not sure how that all translates into a smaller rig. Of course, this is just a rumor. At this point, GMC hasn't made any official announcement. As such, there's really no sketches or photos of this thing. There's no features or specifications to discuss either. Now, as many of you know, I'm ex-military, and being the case, I'm a bit old school. When you think about it, when the H1 came out in the civilian market, it looked like the tank that you expected, that you saw that the military was driving around. It was pretty much the same thing. Minus, well, actually, no minus. You got a lot of things added to it. It was badass. It really lived up to the name. Then, when the H2 came out, granted, it wasn't bad, but it was a diluted H1. Then, when the H3 came out, about that. It broke the matrix. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. The H3 just went completely the wrong direction in my opinion. But anyways, getting back on topic, if the reports are true and GMC is working on a smaller Hummer, it's likely going to be a couple years before one even enters into production. Now, GMC has to fulfill, when you think about it, the orders of the current model first, and second, their Hummer EV SUV has to hit the ground. But what about you? Should a Hummer be a big, bulky, ready-to-go vehicle, or would you like to see a smaller vehicle, a smaller version of it? Leave a comment down below. But friends, as you know, as more details come available or we hear anything on this, we'll keep you guys posted, so stay tuned. Now, Mopar is 85 years old. And Stellantis is apparently celebrating with some pretty wild upgrades for its Ram and Jeep concepts. Now, the Jeep is called Surge. I have to say, this is a pretty cool branding name that they've come up with here. Now, there's a EV badge right behind the front wheel to tell us it's electric. And the E in Surge is blue, also highlighting its electric capabilities. Now, other than that, all you can really tell from the sketch here is that there's no door, beefy fender flares, and it looks pretty mysterious. It looks pretty cool. Ram gets on the Mopar party as well. One sketch shows that it appears to be a Ram TRX with fluorescent yellow paint. Now, this is safe to assume that this is a EV concept like the Jeep. So can you imagine what kind of power a Ram TRX EV would have? Think about it. The current gas-powered TRX puts down 702 horsepower and 650 pounds of torque from a 6.2-liter V8. So I'm suspecting that the EV version of this would outpace those numbers by a long margin. That's going to be a badass ride if they come to market with that. But anyway, the Ram TRX EV isn't the only Ram concept that Mopar has teased. Now, the other appears to be a retro version of a tri-tone paint, a pinstripe, and a bed topper that extends well below the rooftops of a truck bed. Perhaps this means it's a camper truck, something straight from the factory that's ready to roll onto the overlanding trip. That would be awesome. Yes, please. But for now, we'll just have to wait for Stellantis to reveal these three models at SEMA, which fortunately for all of us that are watching this video right now, or maybe aware of this to begin with, that show starts on November 1st in Las Vegas, so we don't have to wait too long. Now, if you are a Jeep enthusiast, what about you? Are you ready to get into a EV Jeep? Because we're seeing more and more talks of Jeep segueing or transitioning over to EV. Now, I'm excited either way. I love my current Gladiator. I have to say, personally, I'm excited to see what Jeep does with the whole EV platform. What about you? Leave a comment down below. Now, while we've spoken about the Ineos Grenadier a handful of times on the show, I've said this many times, man, this thing is a sexy looking truck inside and out. There's really not much I don't like about this truck. And while it's still a little ways from the Grenadier to make it here to the US, the first models, man, if you're in Europe, you don't have long to wait. These things are going to be delivered coming up in December, just a handful of months. Now, it's been a tough market for Ineos to get Grenadier to the market. Think about it. This thing was introduced back in 2017, 5 years ago. Then you have the pandemic that hit and mucked everything up with the supply chains and so forth. And fortunately, all of that is behind us. And so soon you might see a Grenadier pull up next to you, next to a stoplight. Heck yeah. Well, the European people will see it quicker than us here in the States, but man, that's going to be pretty awesome. But remember that the Grenadier will come available as a gas or diesel engine, though the engine is going to really depend, or the availability of what engine is going to depend on the market. Either case, the power will get to the wheels through a 8-speed automatic transmission in a permanent all-wheel drive. Now, the SUV will also have a 2-speed transfer case and 3 differential locks as well. So, as we can see, this thing is really geared for, no pun intended, for off-road. Now, this is not a souped-up rig like a Mercedes G-Class. The US version will be a twin-turbo gas engine that's going to put down a modest 281 horsepower and 332 pounds of torque. Now, the diesel motor puts down 245 horses and 406 pounds of torque. Either way, you're not going to be winning any quarter-mile races with this thing. But the Grenadier isn't about racing around town on asphalt. The off-road capabilities of this thing should be absolutely off the charts. And heck, for one, I'm excited to see how our customers, as they start posting the Grenadier, ripping through some European trails. And friends, that is all we have here for today. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the Ineos Grenadier, friend, what I'm going to do is put a link down below. And friends, that is it for 4-Wheel Drive Talk 48. Now, let's shift gears and talk about our current giveaway. Get a load of these awesome prizes that we have available for the current giveaway. We have a Forest River Max Toolkit, we have a Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set, and of course, the $100 Amazon gift card. Now, as always, entering the giveaway is really simple. Step 1, well, friend, you gotta like this video and you have to subscribe to the channel. Step 2, leave a comment below. In fact, the more of our videos that you watch and leave a comment on, the more chances that you have to win. So, look, let me give you a hint. Go watch some of our other videos and leave some comments. Step 3, register on 4-Wheel Drive Talk and introduce yourself in the forum. Now, if you happen to register on the site during one of the last giveaways, you're still eligible to win. But as I keep saying over and over again, swinging by, say hello. We would love to see you. And friend, that is it. For complete details on the giveaway, including how to register on 4-Wheel Drive Talk and how to say hello in the forum, check out the description below. And friends, good luck. And yeah, well, friends, it's that time of the video where I'm going to humbly thank you for tuning in, supporting the channel, leaving comments, likes, and all that other fun stuff. But more importantly, giving me a few minutes of your attention here. But before we go turning off the cameras, friends, I'm going to ask you to do all that YouTube stuff. So if you haven't already, please consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and hit that bell so every time that we come out with a video just like the one that you just watched here, you get notified and all that other good stuff comes along with it. But that is all I have here for you today, friends. So, hey, you guys get out there, stay healthy, and find your adventure.